Hey, and we are now recording this interview. And Paramvir, hello, nice to see you.
Hi, Oris. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. Before we carry on with all your amazing travels and stories you can share, tell where are you at the moment? I see you have pretty rustic and interesting background, so you're probably.
I'm at my home in the capital city of India, New Delhi, and there's this neighborhood called DLF, Capital Greens. I'm sitting inside my home, inside my room, after an year in New Delhi, India.
Wow, wow. India and New Delhi especially has a big place in my heart because
Hmm.
roughly when I was your age, even a little bit younger, in my early 20s, I spent half a year in India as a law intern. So that was quite the
Amazing.
experience all the way back in 2010. And I kind of
Wow.
remember a lot of things. And definitely, I think India now is probably a different place comparing to the way I remember it.
I think it's still very intense, very chaotic, very diverse, but I think it has grown a lot technologically because everything is now digital. The internet is super cheap here, so I think it has developed a lot. Yeah, but it's very diverse. It's very
I,
intense. The
I
country is
like
very intense.
I have no doubt with that, especially seeing how diverse the Indian travel community
Yeah,
becomes recently.
yeah,
In
indeed.
Mania, we have many interesting travelers, and you are definitely stand out of many of those. That's why actually I contacted you and I wanted to interview you about your travels, about your work, and about your participation in the travel movement, especially in your own country, because you are talking even in Hindi, as I understand, on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I do talk in Hindi exactly.
Wow, wow. So we'll speak about the YouTube itself, but let's
Yeah.
start from the roots. So you
Okay.
are now only 25 years old,
I
and
turned 26 this year. I'm 26. Yeah.
you are 26 already, even
Yeah.
better.
Now.
And
Yeah.
by this time, you have visited approximately 70 countries, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
true.
So
Yeah, that's true.
it's a pretty significant amount of places to visit with the Indian passport. Can you tell me how did you start? How did it all your passion and your drive to traveling started?
Interesting. So I get asked this question quite a lot of times. It all started in 2017, I would say. Although my first trip outside India was in the US back in 2015, but I have family there. Like my sister lives there, my cousin lives there. So I was in Chicago, I was in Indiana, I was in where else? Ohio, Texas. But I was basically visiting family and my cousins. So I never got this cultural shock of getting into a new country because I was always at home and surrounded by my family members. So that trip did not fascinate me a lot actually. But back in 2017, I went to Turkey for an internship with an organization and I stayed in a city called Antalya, very beautiful city. I was there for around 2 months and in that internship I met a lot of people from different corners of the world, like people from Russia, Italy and Dubai, Egypt, Morocco, and people were speaking so many languages and I was so impressed by this and this culture of traveling and seeing the world. I realized that the world is very diverse, yet everyone is so similar. So that actually helped me make my mind to travel more often and to see more parts of the world. So it was this trip to Turkey in January 2017, which made me realize my passion and love for traveling. And that is when I started to travel more frequently after that trip.
May I ask, was it Isaac internship maybe?
That it was Isaac, exactly. It was Isaac.
Why I am asking this? Because I came with the Isaac internship to India, and
Really?
thanks to this organization, it's a shout out
Yeah.
to everybody who is
Shout out
listening.
to Isaac. Yeah.
It's the largest, yeah, this is the largest student organization in the world,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
offers different international internship opportunities for people. You see, so we
Exactly.
have
Very
so much
true.
connection. Okay,
I have a
okay,
question from you as well. So,
yes.
do you remember which ISEC was it? Because in New Delhi there are two ISEC. One is ISEC in Delhi IIT. One is ISEC in Delhi University. Do you remember which one was it?
I don't know. It was like 30 years
It's all right,
ago.
because
No,
I worked for one of the ISECs in New Delhi as well.
I
Anyways, yeah,
think from what I remember now, it was probably not connected to the universe. So it was like the different Isaac. It was not the
okay,
universe. I
yeah,
think.
it could be, yeah.
Okay,
Anyways, yeah,
okay.
leave it. It's been a while.
Basically, everything started from you, from the student exchange experience, and Turkey. Turkey became like the big place where all your hunger, where
Exactly.
you caught the travel bug.
Very
Can you
true.
describe Turkey? Because for me, Turkey is one of the most fascinating places. It's very diverse. And as a Ukrainian, Turkey is a neighboring country. So we basically travel there very often. And it's
Yeah.
like people are accustomed to travel to Turkey. But for you, as I understand, it was like diving into different culture.
Exactly. So, just like you said before, as an Indian, we don't have this culture of traveling the world yet. Now, in the last 2 3 years, it has changed drastically after the use of social media and the internet. But previously, we never had this culture of traveling to different corners of the world. Turkey, I would say it's very close to my heart. So, as a traveler, everyone has their own preferences, what they're seeking for when they travel. To me, it's always the people, local people, the hospitality, the food, the culture, the landscape, nature, a mix of everything. And I think Turkey is the best place which has the best of all these things. The nature is amazing, the people are amazing, the food, I think Turkish food is only second to Indian food. And yeah, everything's amazing about Turkey. I mean, I fell short of words when I talk about Turkey. It's so beautiful. The people are so nice, and I don't know. This place is so close to my heart. I went there in 2017 for the first time, and after that, I have traveled to Turkey 3 or 4 more times, and I've spent like 6 7 months in the country. Turkey is, I think, by far my favorite country.
I can absolutely share your opinion. And also, geographically, it's located very centrally in the world. So basically,
Exactly,
to
exactly.
travel between the continents, there is a big chance you will transfer through Turkey.
Yeah, it's in the center of Africa, Europe, and Asia, so it connects all the three continents quite well. That's true.
Cool, cool. So let's take a look at your map on our Nomad Mania profile. I'm just curious to see more. So this is basically the regions. Yeah, if we click
Yeah.
countries, it's pretty significant. All the places you've been to. Yeah, and yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
it's a serious exploration. And if we click to the regions, which our organization stand for,
Yeah.
you can see like how did you travel. I believe this map is not full, so I encourage you to go
Yeah.
through it again and update it after our
Yeah, I
conversation.
have to update it.
Yeah, and what I see here is that out of all regions, you spent
Yeah.
a fair amount of time densely traveling in Central America.
Central America. That's true. That's
What
true.
so before I ask you about this kind of experience of Central America,
Hmm.
I will just state an interesting statement which we practice in Nomadmania. Show me your map, and I will tell who are you. So basically, by looking at the map of the person, it's possible to tell a lot about the traveler, and the fact that you traveled in a young age in different countries tells a lot. And like this caught my attention, like why Central America so densely traveling.
Interesting. So, if we talk about a country, I would say Turkey is my favorite country. But if we talk about like a group of countries or like a particular region of the world or maybe a continent, I would, although Central America is not a continent, it's a part of North America, but I would say my favorite region of the world or my favorite group of countries is this part of the world, Central America. Being an Indian, I don't think I would have this much fun in any other part of the world. Number one, because it's too far away from India. So the locals, they haven't seen an Indian traveling to this part of the world. So everyone treated me very differently. I got special attention from all the locals and every person. So it was very special. People were so excited to see me, someone to come to this part of the world from the other part of the world. Number two, the countries are very cheap. The food is amazing, which is number three. So everything's pretty affordable. The food is amazing. Everyone treated me differently, and I kind of like that. I think it's just a mix of everything, just like Turkey. These countries are very beautiful, very underrated. So like Mexico, it has already got the attention that it needed. While the other countries like Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala is rising pretty fast in the recent years, but I think El Salvador and Honduras, to be more specific, are very underrated. These countries, most travelers avoid them because they're considered to be dangerous. But I think things have changed, and if you are smart enough to travel to these countries, I think these places are just amazing. Just so cheap. People are so friendly. You get so much attention from everyone. The food is amazing. I think I've had the best times of my life in Central America. This was by far my favorite trip out of all the trips I've had before in the past. It's just amazing.
Oh wow! Like you praised the Central America so much that this part of the video can be viral in the Latin American world. You know, like look what the famous Indian traveler is telling about that.
I hope that these countries get the attention that they deserve, and I would be happy if that happens.
Wow, wow. Yeah, so also in Nomadmania, you know, we divide the world into regions, and we have like
That's
the
true.
upper tier is mega regions. So basically, you were right. Central America
Yeah,
is one of the mega regions of
exactly.
Nomadmania. All right. So, but you know, like many people consider Latin American countries and especially the Central American countries kind of dangerous because like the street violence and the
That's true.
everyday crime is kind of
Yeah,
possible, which is
that's true.
not a typical situation.
Of course, we can't ignore the facts. That's true. I mean, crimes happen and things happen. So that is very true. You just have to take your own care. And I think if you are dumb enough, then every place is dangerous for you. Even New York is dangerous for you if you're dumb. If you just walk in random dodgy streets after midnight and you just, I mean, yeah, just be smart enough. Just be, just act normal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's like to have your head on your shoulders and have a common sense is the basic.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Mhm. But besides, like beside the like Latin America and other places, you visited some countries which are considered to be like really, really dangerous in the world. And
Hmm.
you even made some videos about. Let me just take a look what the countries we are talking about here. Yes, so there are places that are not conventional. Yes, because like still the Latin America is a well traveled path, but there
Exactly.
are
Right.
really like interesting places like Somali. I see you visit like
Yeah.
Somaliland, which is much better probably. Then you did Syria. Uh,
Syria.
I also seen on your video, yeah, there is like a video about the most dangerous world tribe, even.
Yeah, that's in Ethiopia, yeah. And I
So,
was in Lebanon as well during the riots.
uh-huh. So
So,
can you tell us about like your experiences of visiting like
yeah,
countries which are considered to be dangerous on a global scale, mostly from the political standpoint, right?
interesting. So, I would say that these countries, which are considered to be the most dangerous by many, are actually one of the safest places. Now, I'm not saying that there's no terrorism, there's no crime in this country. There is. But talking from a traveler's perspective, the people you meet and everyone that you meet along the way during traveling to these countries, everyone is so generous and so hospitable. Because of these wars, these locals don't get to see many tourists in their countries, and when they see someone visiting their country, they just get so happy, so generous. I mean, shopkeepers in Syria were refusing to accept money from me because I was a foreigner, and they were so happy to see someone like me travel to their country, even though they were so. I mean, I feel bad while saying it. They were so poor and they couldn't even afford their 3 meals in the day, but they would still not accept money from a traveler coming from India to their country. So people were so nice in these countries, and the usual crimes in these countries are, let's say, bomb blasts and suicide bombings, things like these. And when these crimes happen or these things happen, people, I mean, there are deaths in a huge number. There are mass deaths. So people don't die in a small number. So let's say I'm in the downtown and then let's suppose there's a blast. So everyone around me would die. I will not only be targeted, I mean, I would not be specifically targeted. Everyone would be targeted. And then there are countries like where you get targeted as a foreigner. I mean, you get mugged or you get robbed or you get robbed on a gunpoint. I think those places are more dangerous. I mean, some regions in Latin America or maybe Africa, while whereas the countries which are war zones, you don't get targeted specifically by a group or by people. So I felt more comfortable traveling or walking around in the downtown of, let's say, Damascus or in Mogadishu than I would have felt walking around after midnight in Medellin, in Colombia, or in Tegucigalpa in Honduras. So that's the difference. When you know if something bad happens, everyone else is going to die with you, then you don't feel that much scared. And when you feel like you're going to be targeted at certain times or by certain people, that is when you feel more in danger. So I feel like these countries, though they are dangerous, things happen, and we can't ignore the facts, as I said. But the people that I've met in these countries are the most hospitable people that I've ever met, especially from Syria. And that is why I like traveling to these unconventional places, because not many tourists go there. And I mean, those people also deserve the attention that they deserve, and the world must know how good the people are in certain countries. So that is why I like traveling to these war zones.
Very good points. I just want to clarify something. Did you walk by yourself in Mogadishu? So, like, was it like an
Not really.
independent tour, or you were accompanied by the armed group? Yeah.
I was accompanied by security guards in Mogadishu, but in Somaliland, I was just by myself. In Damascus, I was just by myself. There were times in Mogadishu when my guards were like, I would ask them to sit in the car and just keep an eye on me and just not be with me all the time, because I wanted to go and talk to locals by myself as well. And locals get intimidated when they see a gunman with you. They don't want to talk with you. So there were times when I would just ask them to wait or just keep an eye on me if they want to, but just not walk with me all the entire time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's. I just want to make sure because I'm not sure if it's possible to visit Mogadishu
no,
completely
yeah,
independently.
yeah,
Otherwise, I mean, most places you would go by yourself, and I
yeah.
personally, I was never actually. I visited over 130 countries, and I never was accompanied by any armed guy or
Amazing.
so.
Did
So
you go to Mogadishu as well by yourself?
I never been there. No, I haven't
Oh
been
yeah,
in,
yeah,
yet. You know what?
yeah,
I'm also kind of wait. Like I'm not in a rush, but I don't want to visit a place with the armed convoy. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
yeah.
So
Me neither. But yeah, that's true. Me neither. Yeah,
yeah, and like regarding your generalization of the security places in the countries, I understand you very well. For example, the roughest travel experience I had in terms of danger was in Mexico when I was marked with the gunpoint by two guys.
yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, I'm living in Ukraine, which is now the scene of the biggest army like war
Exactly.
conflict since World War II. I'm like
That's
now, like I'm at home, like in the countryside just west of Ukraine. So I understand what you're talking about. And
yeah,
Ukraine is like nothing. Like there are no pickpocketing even here. Like it's super
that's
safe.
true. Yeah,
And when
yeah,
people
yeah.
think of war zones, they probably think that they're like guerrillas running around shooting everything. But usually, like it's different situation.
That's
And
true.
yeah, Ukraine is different. So here comes the story that we met each other because of Ukraine and because you were interested in the war topic. Yes,
Exactly.
last year
Yeah,
when you came from Poland and you actually explored the border area between
yeah,
Ukraine and Poland,
yeah,
which is the scene of massive refugee crisis
yeah.
back then. uh, like I was inviting you to Ukraine. Like we were chatting. Why didn't you come? And what was your experience from the place that you were able to visit?
Interesting. I wanted to come to Ukraine so badly. I even want to come right now. So the thing was, I was in Europe and my Schengen visa was supposed, I guess it was August, and my Schengen visa was supposed to expire on 30th of August. And I was in Spain on 24th of August last year, 2022. And then I was in contact with an organization in Ukraine, a non government organization, which was helping the people who got affected by the war. So I was in touch with one of their representatives, and I wanted to come to Ukraine and volunteer for the organization. And I wanted to help the locals who are getting affected by the war or who are trying to migrate to Europe. So that was the thing. But what happened was, if I went to Ukraine, the only way to go back to India or to leave Ukraine was to come back to Europe and then take a flight, because I think the airport wasn't operational in Kiev. So I had to cross the border from Poland and then come to Ukraine, or maybe cross the border to Moldova or Romania, or Poland, any of these borders. I might be wrong. I don't remember the exact borders which Ukraine shares, but I think it was Moldova, Romania, and Poland, as far as I can remember. So I was in Barcelona, and then this girl from the organization told me that I can enter Ukraine whenever I want, and then that everything is ready. So I decided to go to Ukraine for like 4 or 5 days and come back to Poland and then go to Berlin and then leave the Schengen territory before my visa expires. So I reached Krakow on 25th or 26th, something like that, and then I quickly went to Shamashul in the east, and which is a border town next to Ukraine, and then there's the Medica border crossing or something like that, which Poland shares with Ukraine. So I was living at the border town, waiting for the green flag from the organization, but then the girl said that because I was from India, I needed a visa to enter Ukraine, and then I needed special permissions because of my passport. So the organization was arranging the paperwork for me, and then it might take 1 day, 2 day, or maybe a week, something like that. So I kept waiting for 2 or 3 days, but then I didn't get any confirmation. So then I had to go back to Berlin, and then I left the Schengen territory on 30th of August because my Schengen visa was supposed to expire, and if I need a Schengen visa, I have to go back to my home country every time and apply to the embassy in India because of the passport. So that was the main reason why I could not enter Ukraine, because my European visa was expiring.
I understand you very clearly. So basically, it was a paperwork question, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe, first of all, you're always welcome to Ukraine. I can arrange you all types of invitation. But moving
amazing.
forward, you are traveling with Indian passport, so which
Yeah,
is a pretty hard passport to travel. You need visas to most of the countries in the world,
most of the countries. Yeah.
and like in Romania, we even have something which is called LPI, which is
Okay.
the
Low passport index. Yeah.
low passport index. So
Yeah.
basically we praise people from difficult to travel who actually make it happen. We have the entire list, so you
Yeah.
should be somewhere closer to the top over here, and you can go and explore with other bodies, who are
Yeah.
from low passport ranking. So can you share the experience? How is it for you traveling with an Indian passport? Like probably you have to spend a lot of time like
That's
arranging the
true.
visas. You are less flexible, definitely, and so on. This will be like a big motivation for those people all around the
Yeah.
world who tell
Hmm.
my passport is bad, I'm not able to travel. Like look at Paramvir, he can do it.
So the first thing is I have an Indian passport. I'm born in India, and I'm very proud to call myself an Indian, and I'm very proud of my Indian passport. Number two, India does not allow you to have dual citizenship. So even if I want to get a stronger passport, I'll have to get rid of my Indian passport and then take the citizenship of the other country, which I don't want to do. So I always want to be an Indian citizen. Uh, Now, I'm a proud Indian, but if I say that traveling with an Indian passport is not tough, then I would be lying. It's very challenging. I literally need visas to almost all the countries in the world, as you just discussed. And the visa, even if I have the visa, or even if there's visa on arrival, or even if I'm exempt from getting a visa, the immigration always, when they see an Indian passport, they question me, and then they take me to a corner, take me to the interrogation room, and I'm always questioned because I don't know, the passport isn't really strong. And just like I said before, to travel to Europe, I need to apply for a Schengen visa in my home country. And I mean, yeah, sometimes I'm very envious of people who are from Europe or maybe Americans who have a stronger passport, that they have this strong passport. And if I had this passport, I would have been traveling much more than they are. And they're just not making use of this of this opportunity that they have. So the best thing to do if you have a weak passport like mine is to get a strong visa on your passport. So I have an American visa. I got an American visa. I applied for an American visa with my family. So it kind of opens up the opportunities for you. I traveled in entire Central America, and I did not need a visa for any of those countries, or there was visa on arrival. Either I was exempt or there was visa on arrival. It was only possible because of my American visa. So if you have a valid American, Canadian, British, or a Schengen visa, then a lot of countries offer you to get a visa on arrival or an e-visa, or you're exempt from getting a visa. If I didn't have this American visa, so let's say I have to get a visa to Mexico. and then I need to get a visa to El Salvador. I think I don't need a visa even if I don't have an American visa. But yeah, every other country, let's say Guatemala, Honduras, and then Colombia, and I would get visas for specific dates. I mean, my plans cannot be versatile and flexible. So I am supposed to be in Mexico for 10 days. And then if I don't go to Colombia, my visa to Colombia would expire. So that would be very challenging. Schengen visa, the thing is, they usually give you a visa of very small duration. So the bets could be applying for either a Canadian visa or an American visa, and then it'll be much easier for you to travel if you have a weak passport like mine.
Those were like serious words of wisdom. And definitely, like, because there are these international agreements between the countries,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
hierarchy of the difficult visas is pretty strong. So
yeah,
countries like from the second countries, if they see like, okay, like, if this guy got the American visa, he probably went through all the checking, and we
exactly,
can be sure that he is fine.
exactly,
Okay, okay.
exactly.
And so, I mean, you are sharing your stories, your travel tips, your experiences on your YouTube channel, which is pretty
Yeah,
big, which is one of the biggest Indian YouTube channels
yeah.
in
Travel.
the
I'm one of the biggest
travel.
Indian travel. I think top
Travel.
five. Yeah,
Yeah, and also you are. It's possible to tell you're like a influencer in the world of travel for Indian audience because you're also present in other social medias. Can you tell
yeah.
about your professional path as the creator, as the influencer? What's your style? How you develop content? What matters to you? Which topics do you try to outline to make it visible and useful?
So my unique selling point would be like I like traveling to unconventional places, places that are not usually traveled by Indians. So I'm from India and I have never been to Southeast Asia, like countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, because these are the most common countries that Indians usually travel to. So I've been to 70 countries, but I've never been to Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, the most usual countries where Indians travel to. So I always wanted to go to the places where Indians do not generally travel, or are not which are already not too popular on the internet. So I wanted to tell people more about the hidden gems in the world. And then, as I said previously in our call before, that I mostly focus on people, culture, hospitality, landscapes, how cheap the place is, and a mix of everything. So, in my videos and in the content that I create, I try to keep a little bit of everything. I mean, I show a bit of nightlife, I show a bit of the religious part, the ethnic groups, the culture, the food, how to get around, how expensive is the city or the country, a bit about history, a bit about geography and everything, some interesting facts about the country, landscapes, nature, some adventure. So I try to keep a mix of everything, all the things that I am personally interested in. And yeah, that is it. I mean, I like to travel to places which are not very usual, and then places where I am interested to travel as well. So that's basically just my style. And fortunately, I've been loved by so many Indians, and that is why I'm getting their support, because of which I'm able to sponsor my and fund my travels as well, which is pretty good.
That's probably the key, to be really interested and to be in love what you do, and then you
Yeah.
just people feel it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I feel
mentioned
like I'm living my dream life, to be honest.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Like really happy for you, And me personally, I also developed as a travel influencer on the Ukrainian audience. So basically, I really process everything what you're
I
talking
know,
about.
and I want to mention this thing as well, although it's like a personal thing between me and Orest. So I traveled to the border of Ukraine, and I couldn't enter Ukraine, but I had already made this video that I'm traveling to Ukraine, and I already informed my audience about it. But then I couldn't make it, and I didn't have any videos of the actual war happening in Ukraine and the destruction being caused because of the war, and the people being affected because of the war. And then I was looking for videos from Ukraine. I came across Orest's YouTube channel, and I got some really nice clips from there. And then I contacted him if I can use any of his clips. He gave me some really nice clips. And if you see that video, so I made this video where I was traveling from the Polish city of Krakow to the
I will
Ukrainian
try to
border.
look for it in the meantime. You keep on talking, and I'll try
Okay,
to look
okay.
for it in your
So
channel.
yeah, this video, I think it's called "Traveling to Ukraine's Border" or something like that. It's a
Let
popular
me
video.
check.
It got like 1.8 million views on my YouTube channel. And if yeah, it should be somewhere around here. Yeah,
Oh, there it
Turkey.
is.
Yeah. So can you see the most replayed part of the video? Can you check it? Uh,
Which one?
okay, I think you can't see it. So
Wait, which part?
your part. Go to
My
your
part?
part. So I
Yeah.
used his part in my video, and as you can see, it's the most replayed part. See, it says most replayed.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I see here.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So this particular scene was the most replayed part, which was actually Orest's video, not even mine.
Oh,
So all the credit goes to him because of this. Thank you so much for this, Orest.
wow. And thank you for actually featuring it, because it was a very, very crucial time. It was the early
Yeah,
stage of the war when nobody knows in which direction the
yeah,
advance will go. But by
yeah,
being able to spread the message, to show
yeah,
what's really happening, you also participated in the resistance of Ukraine, and you also
yeah.
participated in the media war, and you
Mhm.
participated in basically defending the freedom of our world. So I am.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this, and
You're
namaste, right?
welcome. You're
Thank you. Yeah,
welcome.
namaste,
Namaste.
namaste, namaste. Oh wow, you see, cool.
Yeah,
So you're making those videos, you're traveling around the world, you're making a living out of it, and I'm pretty sure I know what you are doing, but tell to the
yeah.
other audience, like to all the thousands of subscribers who are asking you every day how you make a living out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, so you understand it. You want me to explain to the common people who don't know how can I make a living out of it. Okay. So I've actually made a course on this as well. I recently launched a course, but I'm not asking people to buy my course, but I'm just discussing that. I've mentioned the same things in my course. How can you get paid to travel the world? So I covered the blogging category, which is what I'm doing. So when you post a video on YouTube, let's say I post this video of Poland, for example, and then you see these random ads on the YouTube videos where you have this option to skip ad. So these ad companies pay money to YouTube. YouTube keeps a cut, which is 45%, and 55% of that money, what the company pays to YouTube, goes to the creator who posted that video on YouTube. This is what YouTube pays to you. And you can't decide how much the brand is going to pay to YouTube, but because it all depends on a number of factors: the geography of your audience, the age range, the gender, how long did they see the ad for. There are a number of factors, and YouTube ultimately decides how much it is going to charge from that ad company. So this is called platform revenue, and the platform revenue is different for every platform. Instagram has different platform revenue, YouTube has a different, Facebook has its own rules. And to get the platform revenue, you need to get your channel or your social media or your travel brand monetized. And everyone has their own monetization criteria as well. Just like on YouTube, you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 400 hours of watch time in the last 1 year. Instagram has its own criteria. Once you get monetized on the platform, then the platform pays you depending upon how many views you're getting. And on top of it, there's brand marketing or sponsorships as well, where creators like me, we promote a brand. Let's say that this is Bisleri water. So this company in this case would directly contact me. They would email me and my manager would negotiate about the price and everything, and I would promote this water company for 60 seconds, and I would charge like x amount of money from the company. Usually it's like 1200 US dollars for 60 seconds. That's what I usually charge. But so this company got lucky, it got free promotions right now. But these are the two main ways to get paid from social media.
Yep, that was exactly very correct, guys. And to make it happen, you just need to keep on creating useful, engaging
Yeah,
content for your audience that people will
yeah.
watch, will share, and will love.
Yeah. You need to build up your social media or your travel brand, whatever it is. Yeah,
Something what many people don't realize is that uh, it's actual work, and it requires
it is.
dedication, it requires discipline all the time, right? And I can tell that you are not only putting a lot of effort into your material, but you're also taking
Mhm.
care of your body and of your
Yeah,
soul, I believe, right? So you're in a
yeah,
great shape, and keeping a great shape while actively traveling is a super difficult
It's
challenge.
challenging, yeah.
What are your routines? What do you do in order to stay in a great shape, like uh,
Ah.
like this? Like I can see you've been working for some time on this, definitely.
Interesting. That's cool. I'm surprised you found out those videos and pictures. So yeah, being in shape in traveling is it's kind of easy and challenging at the same time. Easy because you're burning off a lot of calories, so you it's hard for you to get fat because you're just walking all day, you're carrying your backpacks. Challenging because in this process you lose muscle mass as well because you're not getting enough calories and enough proteins. So my usual routine is like I try to find a gym, and I love doing weight training. So I try to go to a gym at least 3 to 4 days in a week. I take day passes in every city wherever I am. And nowadays, this gym culture has become so common that there are gyms in literally all cities, all small villages as well in the world. So I go to a gym, I take a day pass, and I try to do this as much as I can during the entire week. But usually, it's like 3 to 4 days of weight training at a gym. If I am at a place where I can't find a gym or the gyms are super expensive, then I just stay indoors. I do the weight training with my bags. I load them up with some groceries and everything, make them heavier, and I do some weight training with my bags. Talking about the cardio, when you're traveling, you're already doing a lot of cardio when you're walking with the bags and everything. So there's no need of additional cardio training. So it keeps your heart healthy and everything. It doesn't let you get fat and everything. So this was my workout routine. Apart from this, talking about the diet, the best things as a traveler that you can have, the most nutritious and the cheapest things and the best sources of proteins, fats, and carbs would be milk, peanut butter, and eggs. So these are the cheapest sources. You'd find them everywhere in every corner of the world. You would get a lot of proteins and a lot of fats from these, and then some carbs as well. So I usually go for grocery shopping wherever I am, and I buy peanut butter or almond butter. Now I can afford almond butter, so I buy almond butter instead, and then I buy some eggs. And because I'm from the northern part of India, dairy is a big part in our diet. Everything is based on dairy, so milk suits me quite well. So I get like 1 or 2 liters of milk. I get some eggs. I get some almond butter, maybe some bread. So I'm getting all the amino acids and all macronutrients from these things. And then I buy some seasonal fruits as well for the vitamins and minerals and for the fiber. And on top of it, if I feel like I didn't get enough protein, so I carry some whey protein with me as well. So I take a scoop of it. So that is it. That's what I usually do.
Sounds like you have a very scientific approach and you really know what you are doing, right? Because you also need to feel and you need to understand what you digest. May I ask you, when you
Yeah.
travel often, you usually meet people, there are some parties. You're like always in this most constant mode of festival, kind of like if you travel.
Yeah.
Do you drink alcohol?
Yes, yes, I do drink alcohol, but very occasionally.
Hmm.
So I avoid hard liquors and I usually stick to beer, only beer. But if I feel like, okay, today I'm gonna get drunk and anything, so then I get drunk as well. But I am always drinking in moderation. And if you talk about how frequently does the average come out to be, so I would say it's like it depends on the country. So let's say if I'm in Colombia, if I'm in Mexico, then I would be drinking more compared to if I'm in a Middle Eastern country or if I'm in an Arabic country. So it depends. But in the last 1 year, I would say I have drank like maybe 20 times or 15 times, somewhere between 15 to 20 times. So the average would be, I think, once in 2 weeks, something like
Hmm.
that.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
moderate and so on.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what? Like, I believe we can talk for hours, and we will do it definitely when we meet
That's
because
correct.
it's really
Yeah.
good vibe I feel between us. But we have to wrap things up. All of us are pretty busy and so on. But there is like always a signature question that we ask our guests in Nomadmania, and this is the
Okay.
following: if you had a chance to meet any three people who lived in the history or who are living now on our earth, who would they
Mhm.
whom you would invite for a dinner and talk with them?
That's an interesting question, but to be honest, there's No, I don't think there's a single person that I can name specifically. But if I'm on the move, if I'm traveling, I think it would be my family, because I'm always missing them, and getting an opportunity to have dinner with them would be amazing. Because as travelers, we are away from home for such long durations. But since I am currently at home, and I am fortunate enough to have this luxury of eating with my parents every day, so of course I can't name them right now. But uh, I can't name specific people, but I'm very much interested in talking to people, or sitting and having long conversations with people who have either traveled more than me, like you, and people who are polyglots, people who speak so many languages. I'm always so impressed by those people. So anyone, I mean, who's a polyglot or who has traveled more than me, I think they qualify to have dinner with me. I would be super impressed to get that opportunity. But I don't think I can name any three particular names. So one could be you, and then two, anyone from Nomadvadia who has traveled more than me. Everyone
That
qualifies.
sounds to me like a plan. I hope we'll be able to meet anytime soon. And, all around the world, we are organizing different meetups of Nomadmania. Maybe you
Yeah,
would like to host one in India. We can help you, to push it to
of
other
course,
Indians.
of
Let's
course,
talk
yeah.
about this. Yes. And I'm very impressed with your sophisticated approach to life in such a young age, with your wisdom and with your experience that you were able to get already. And I'm sure that your life will continue to be the same amazing as it is, and you will go very, very far beyond the stars. So I
Yeah, I
wish you
try
all
my
the best.
best.
Yeah, wish you all the best. And guys, please, if by now you probably subscribed to all the channels of Paramir, please share this, carry on, and yeah,
Yeah,
let's keep it.
really appreciate it. It was so nice talking to you as well, Orest. And that's the beauty of the world, even though we're separated by these borders, and we are like so far away in the world, yet we find so many things in common. So you can find people of similar interest in places which are like nowhere similar to your culture, to your region, anything. But then you find people with similar mindsets. That's the beauty of this world. And yeah, because of traveling, we're able to live this life and experience this, meet people like who are like-minded and everything. So I love it. I mean, it's an amazing life.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend, and looking forward to
Thank you
see you
so much.
somewhere soon.
See you. Goodbye.